4 a.m. Wake up before the competition. Ice bath. 10-mile run. Trade crypto while reading 20 pages of Marcus Aurelius. Journal 3 things you're grateful for. Skip breakfast. Because hunger is apparently a mindset. Launch a newsletter. Optimize your gut microbiome. And by 6:15, remind 12 millionaires on X that excuses are a choice. That is not a morning routine. That is a hostage situation with a podcast microphone. Hustle culture promised freedom. Instead, it gave us sleep guilt, electrolyte subscriptions, and men who film themselves walking through airports in slow motion. But the funniest part is not the routine. It is how the guru actually makes money. Because there is a reason the Lamborghini, the course, and your insecurity always appear in the same video. And once you see the business model, the entire performance becomes impossible to unsee. You know the archetype. His profile picture is black and white because color is for employees. His bio says founder, but never of what. Every post begins, at 22, I was broke. Every photo was taken from a balcony that seems legally required to overlook Dubai. He is always locked in, which sounds impressive until you realize the door may simply be stuck. His calendar has no empty space, his walls have no personal photographs, and his only known relationship is a strategic partnership with a ring light. He does not drink coffee. He deploys caffeine. He does not go for a walk. He performs low-intensity Zone 2 strategic ideation. He did not buy a notebook. He invested in an analog clarity system. They have taken every normal human behavior, added a military verb, and sold it back to us as evidence of superiority. Apparently, I have never eaten lunch. I have failed to execute a midday nutritional acquisition. And we mock this content, but we also watch it. We send it to friends. We argue beneath it. Sometimes, quietly, we copy it. Maybe not the ice bath. Maybe we download the planner, set the 5 a.m. alarm, buy the magnesium. Tell ourselves that this Monday, unlike the previous 47 Mondays, we will become the kind of person who color codes hydration. Productivity stopped being something you do and became something you perform. If no camera witnessed your sunrise run, did your discipline even create shareholder value? But the routine is not really about discipline. It is about identity. The grind set works because uncertainty feels terrible. Rent rises. Careers wobble. Technology changes the rules while you are still reading them. Then someone appears and says, wake up early, obey this checklist, and the universe will issue you a refund for every bad thing that has happened. That is comforting. It turns a chaotic economy into a video game. Complete the morning routine, earn discipline points, unlock the sports car, defeat the final boss, having a normal job and being seen buying groceries. And yes, it gets us because it offers control. I have absolutely watched a stranger organize his desk and thought, that cable management might repair my entire personality. You have probably saved a productivity video you never watched again. Saving it felt productive. The collection was the accomplishment. We did not build the habit. We put the habit in a little digital waiting room. Grindset content also sells status. It says your schedule proves your worth. Rest means weakness. Busyness means importance. And for some young men especially, it offers a costume for uncertainty. Control the body, control the schedule, control the money, never admit fear. The vulnerability does not disappear. It just puts on sunglasses and rents a podcast studio. The promise flatters us, too. It says success is entirely personal, so if we win, we are exceptional. The uncomfortable reverse is that if we lose, the system never needs explaining. The blame has already been delivered to our front door in a box labeled mindset. Ordinary ambition is patient. Hustle culture cannot tolerate patience because patience does not panic buy a masterclass at 11:59 p.m. Which brings us to the part they would prefer you experience only as a disappearing Instagram story. Follow the money. The funnel is beautifully simple. First, make you feel behind. Second, show you a lifestyle. Third, explain that the missing bridge between your life and that lifestyle is information. Fourth, and this is a remarkable coincidence, sell the information. The free post leads to the newsletter. The newsletter leads to the webinar. The webinar leads to the course. The course leads to the private community. The private community leads to elite coaching, where, for the price of a used car, somebody named Braden tells you to post consistently. Then come the affiliate links, supplements, book summaries, templates, masterminds, sponsorships, trading platforms, protein powder, mushroom coffee, and a productivity app that sends 17 notifications to help you reduce distractions. Your first task is to disable the productivity app. Notice the magic trick. The guru's wealth is presented as proof that the advice works. But some of that wealth may come from selling the advice. The screenshot proves the course works because the course paid for the screenshot that sells the next course. It is a self-licking ice cream cone wearing a Rolex. When a business needs you to feel permanently unfinished, your doubt is recurring revenue. That is the real product, not discipline, not freedom. A gap between who you are and who you think you should be, kept just wide enough for a payment plan. This does not mean every course is fraudulent, every coach is useless, or every person beside a nice car is committing vehicular dishonesty. It means testimonials are selected, losses are quiet, winners become content, survivorship bias gets cinematic lighting, and the system rewards the person who markets certainty most aggressively, not necessarily the person who understands reality best. If everybody could get rich by buying the blueprint would not need a new launch every Thursday. Underneath the jokes is a real exhaustion. Gallup's 2026 Global Workplace Report found that 40% of employees experienced significant stress during much of the previous day. That is not a niche failure of morning discipline. That is a lot of human beings carrying too much. Burnout is not always a dramatic collapse. Sometimes it is opening the laptop and feeling your personality leave the room. It is needing Sunday to recover from Monday through Friday, then spending Sunday afraid of Monday. It is answering quick question messages that arrive with the emotional energy of a home invasion. And when exhausted people struggle, hustle culture gives them the cruelest explanation available. You did not optimize hard enough. You need a stricter routine, a stronger supplement, a colder shower, a more expensive person to tell you that sleep matters immediately after advising you to wake up at 4. Exhaustion is not evidence of virtue. Sometimes it is evidence that something is taking more than it gives. Quiet quitting, anti-work posts, lazy girl jobs, career downshifting. Some of the labels are clumsy, some are jokes, and some became content industries of their own. But underneath them is a serious question. How much of a person should work be allowed to consume? Deloitte's 2025 survey of more than 23,000 Gen Z and millennial respondents found only 6% named reaching a leadership position as their primary career goal. That does not prove younger people lack ambition. The same research found many actively building skills. It suggests ambition is being renegotiated. Maybe the goal is not the highest rung. Maybe it is a life you can still recognize after work. Enter soft living, slower mornings, firmer boundaries, ordinary pleasure, work that supports a life instead of swallowing it. Tea in an actual cup, a walk with no performance metrics, a hobby with no monetization strategy. Imagine painting badly and refusing to build a personal brand around the journey. For people trained to optimize every minute, unproductive joy can feel suspicious. You finish a book and do not post 5 lessons for founders. You cook dinner without turning it into meal prep content. You lie down in the afternoon, eyes closed, recklessly producing no shareholder value. Scandalous. But soft living has real criticisms. It can become an aesthetic available mainly to people with money, flexibility, or someone else doing the invisible work. A linen robe is not labor reform. Boundaries do not pay rent. And protect your peace can become a flattering phrase for avoiding every difficult conversation. Rest is not a substitute for responsibility, but responsibility is not a license for self-erasure. So where is the line for you? Is soft living healthy resistance to an economy of exhaustion, or is it privileged escapism with excellent lighting? And what is the most ridiculous productivity habit you tried before realizing it was making your life worse? I need to know whether anyone else bought a habit tracker and then felt judged by a notebook. The useful version of soft living is not pretending work disappears. It is rejecting the idea that suffering makes work meaningful. It is choosing enough over endless. It is measuring success partly by what your ambition leaves intact: health, relationships, curiosity, the ability to sit through dinner without checking whether somebody replied, "Thoughts?" It can also be practical, not picturesque. Turning off notifications, sharing care work fairly, taking the vacation days you already earned, leaving a bad job when you safely can, or refusing unpaid urgency disguised as team culture. No candles, coastal kitchen, or matching lounge set required. A boundary is not laziness. It is a fence around the parts of you your job did not purchase.
To be clear, effort matters. Discipline matters. Building something difficult can be deeply satisfying. The answer to hustle culture is not becoming allergic to effort and declaring the dishwasher a toxic workplace. The answer is deciding what the effort is for. Does it build your life, or merely build your tolerance for having no life? Are you chasing something you chose, or performing ambition for an audience that profits when you feel behind? Hustle culture says freedom is always one more sacrifice away, one more late night, one more course, one more year of postponing yourself. But a finish line that moves whenever you approach it is not a finish line. It is a subscription. So wake up at 4 if the morning genuinely belongs to you. Take the ice bath if you enjoy being briefly attacked by water. Read Marcus Aurelius because the ideas matter, not because a man with a referral code told you Stoicism improves conversion. Your life is not the raw material for somebody else's sales funnel. Work hard for what you love, but never let a market built on your exhaustion convince you that rest is something you have to earn.